We are recording. So happy Friday, everybody. This is Pete Erickson. I am the founder of Modev, and I am the creator of Voice Summit. Voice Summit is a conference at the intersection of conversational design and devices and development and all the exciting things that are happening in the voice first era. You can catch it at voicesummit.ai. So definitely go check it out. We'll have more than 350 speakers joining us from 25 countries, about 5,000 people, including my next guest, Mark Greenfield. Mark is at University of Buffalo, and he leads their web accessibility initiatives there, and is going to be speaking about related topics at Voice Summit. But first and foremost, happy Friday, Mark. How you doing?
I'm doing great, Pete. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. These interviews have been a lot of fun for me. It's a chance to get to know people before we get to Newark. So it's a great opportunity. Tell us a little bit about you, your role at the university there.
Sure. So I have been working at UB for over 30 years now in a variety of technology roles. Started out in the late 1980s, bringing technology into the classroom. So replacing overhead projectors and slide projectors with computer technology. So it was really at the infancy of computer technology. And I remember in the early 90s when the web came along, thinking that that might be a thing. And as it turned out, it turned into a thing. So started doing web work in the early 90s, and accessibility became something to really think about in the late 1990s. And it was a natural progression of the way I was approaching my work, because I really wanted to make websites that work for everybody in all situations and all browsers. And accessibility was just a natural extension of that. So been involved in the accessibility world for about 20 years now. Just recently appointed the web accessibility officer here. For a variety of reasons, accessibility is front of mind in higher education now. So I am leading kind of our accessibility efforts across campus.
Well, I think it's a noble cause, but it's so important. I think that, the tech industry it's very well documented and publicized and talked about that it's been an unhealthy industry from a standpoint of inclusiveness. And I think a lot of folks, rightly so, just look at the diversity aspect of the tech industry, and I think there's been some oversight that people that aren't 100% able-bodied are a big part of that number, and that giving more folks access to the technology sector, whether they want to be a developer or just use technology, or take classes and participate. It's been illuminating and eye-opening for me as an event organizer, having sort of a front row seat on this. But I think one exciting thing about the voice first era is it really is starting to open up more opportunities. Is that what you're seeing as well?
Yep, absolutely. And kind of to emphasize that number question, most people are surprised that 20% of the population has a disability that impacts their ability to use the web. And that is just people with permanent disabilities. All of us have been in situational disabilities where we're at a loud bar and we can hear, but we need closed captioning because it's noisy environment. Or you have a temporary disability where you hurt your hand and can't use a mouse, and all of a sudden
you got a cast on,
Exactly. So, and it really, I think, what really interests me the most about voice is that I think it has the potential to really change the way we think about accessibility. Again, I've been doing this a long time. My first user interface was punch cards and a printout. And I remember with fascination when the mouse and the keyboard came along, but that technology is 40 years old now. And voice, to me, is a huge game changer, a potential game changer for people with accessibility issues. And one of the main things I'm going to talk about in Newark is how our concept of disabilities is changing. Most of us think about disabilities in the medical model, where there is something wrong, there's a deficit, and we need to accommodate somebody with separate technology to kind of help them use the technology. So if you think about screen readers or think about special pointing devices. But the problem with that approach is that it's kind of a separate but equal approach, where what I want to do is focus more on the social definition of disability, which is the idea that the environment doesn't match And Kat Holmes is a former developer at Microsoft. She has written a book called Mismatch. And I think that that title perfectly explains the challenges of somebody with a disability not matched to the environment. So for me, the power of voice is the ability to use a device that everybody else is using and not kind of a separate but equal approach. So you won't rely on separate assistive technology, but the voice platform itself lends itself so well to addressing a lot of the disability issues. I just think it's going to be a complete game changer.
I think that's fabulous. And I know that our friends at Prudential, David Hayfitz, has recently hired multiple developers with disabilities, everything from hearing loss to vision loss and beyond. And the results are just, for them, exponential. Just the quality of work, everything that they're getting is just, it's beyond. And I think that this level playing field is really key, so that we are all together. We're not separate but equal, but we're doing something together. And I think that's a message that I'm excited that you're bringing to us at Voice Summit. It's a message that I'm excited that this industry can start to share with the rest of the world, so that we can move forward and truly move towards equality.
Yep. And one of the interesting things about my position is that I am not part of our IT group. I actually report through our Office of Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion. And for me, that sends a much different message that accessibility is not about a compliance checklist, but it's really about our commitment to being inclusive. And that's really kind of the message that I want to share. And really the connection between accessibility and inclusive design and the connection between accessibility and the user experience. To me, all of that goes hand in hand.
Yeah, I think it's great. Well, I just pulled up, I shared the screen here. So you're going to be participating in a couple of ways. You're giving a talk on accessibility on a college campus in the Voice First Era. I think that's your opportunity to really go into deeply your experience there at University of Buffalo. Is that correct?
That is correct. So I really want to kind of share kind of some of the approaches that we're taking and also how the college campus has changed. So for example, we have a social work class that's being taught completely online this fall, and they're going to use virtual reality as a way to connect for discussions. So I think that's great technology, but how do we address some of the accessibility issues around that? And even the way that campus services are delivered, we are building a new dining facility on campus called One Campus, and it's all going to be based on the Internet of Things, and even I'm hoping for some voice technology. When you go and order your food, you walk up to a kiosk, and there is a chance that when your salad gets made, it's going to be made by a robot. There's a robot out there called Sally the Salad Maker. And she may be making an appearance at UB. But when I think about the best way to interact with, whether it's virtual reality or the Internet of Things, to me, voice is the natural interface for that. And I just see tremendous possibility on a college campus about how we can really leverage voice in general, but specifically how we can use it to address accessibility issues.
That's amazing. I can't wait to follow that progress. And I see that you're going to have a roundtable. We're doing something new this year at the event. We're having these executive roundtable sessions. So they're smaller, maybe 20 to 25 folks sitting around a boardroom table, really talking face-to-face about issues. And you're going to be coupled up with David Hayfitz, who I mentioned from Prudential. David is the vice president at Prudential Financial. He leads their mobile technology and their accessibility initiatives at Prudential. And I think that is going to be a fabulous discussion. As we've got a major employer and a major university talking about the issues at hand. And if this is the kind of conversation that you want to be a part of, Voice Summit is where it's going to be happening. We have more than 350 speakers coming with all kinds of different takes and experiences and ideas and knowledge to share across this exciting new era. I encourage you to check it out. This is the next major user interface. It's already here. It's in many of our kitchens and in our cars and in our smartphones, but it's going to have a major impact on all of us. And that includes those of us who maybe haven't been an equal part of our lives are now going to be an equal part of our lives. Mark, I really appreciate you and appreciate you coming out to Newark. And I I remember you giving me a little insight that you have some family ties to NJIT.
Yes, I do. In fact, my daughter is going to be a sophomore at NJIT. She is in their honors college and plays on the volleyball team. And I've actually decided I'm going to be staying on campus during the Voice Summit. So I'm going to be right across the street from the WEC in the honors dorm. And I just want to be a part of the action. And I felt that was the best way to really be embedded and really never leave the event. So really looking forward to it.
Getting to know NJIT has been one of the greatest gifts for me. It was a university I really didn't know anything about. And then when when Newark ended up being on the finalist list and we went for a site visit, I was just like blown away. This engineering school and just the campus, Newark, the brand new Wellness and Event Center. For folks that are going to visit Newark, maybe for the first time, you're going to be pleasantly surprised. Newark has restaurants and bars, boutique hotels, and multiple universities right there. Rutgers University is there, NJIT is there, Essex College is there. And by the way, about 8 Fortune 500 companies are headquartered there as well, including Audible and Prudential, but many more, Panasonic Americas, and many others. So we're excited to welcome a lot of folks to Newark. And I'm so glad, Mark, that you're now woven into the fabric of that community with your daughter there. I commend her for going to such a good school. And look forward to seeing you in just under 4 weeks.
Yep, I can't believe it's right around the corner. Really looking forward to it.
July 22nd through the 25th in Newark, New Jersey. Voice will be there. VoiceSummit.ai is the web address. Tickets start at a very affordable rate. They do go up on Sunday night, June 30th, but not by much. And if you are a student or you are in an economic situation where you need assistance, please apply for a scholarship. I believe we have some left. They are running out, so get in on that action as well. And we look forward to seeing you all in Newark. Mark, thanks again. Have a great weekend.
Yep, you too, Pete. Thanks.
Cheers.